What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. That's a little better. I get my greasy hands on the cell phone. That's still a little greasy. Hold on. Get my greasy hands on the cell phone. Oops. There we go. There's a reason why we call it broke-ass media. Because we broke ass and we're trying to be media. You know, as we get ready for training camp next week, oh my God, it's crazy. The off season has flown by. Well, I don't know if it's flown by, but it seems like it's been slow, but it also seems like it's fast. It's like it's hard to believe that we are in, late July right now. That training camp is next week. That we're only a couple weeks away from the Hall of Fame game. It's crazy. Right now, 2 weeks from today, I'll be in Oxnard talking about the Cowboys. I can't believe it. I can't wait. So, here's what I want to talk about. We have given Catboy hell. We hate Catboy. We hate what he does. We're sitting here, we're like kids at Christmas. And we sitting here looking and waiting for our presents. We see everybody else. Johnny got a brand new bicycle. I'm sorry, I'm going old school. Okay, y'all don't care about bicycles. Y'all got look. Johnny got the new PlayStation with all the Halo games and everything else and stuff, right? My man over here got himself a new gaming computers and everything else. And here it is. What do we get for Christmas? We get some clothes. We disappointed because all we got is some clothes. Everybody else got all the things that they wanted for Christmas. That's how we feel as Cowboy fans as we see teams go out there and sign the Von Millers and the Bobby Wagners and things and trade and get Khalil Max and Devontae Adams and things, right? We see, that Denver gets Russell Wilson and things, and we're just sitting here, and we're like, yeah, it'd be nice if we could get a present here for Christmas. But let's have a little bit of revisionist history here. Let's actually look back. Let's think about last year. Last year when we had the Giants who were feeling like, oh man, we got some weapons. We got some weapons for Daniel Jones. Our offense is going to be so much better. We signed a Kyle Rudolph. The Giants signed Kyle Rudolph, who has been a pretty good tight end with Minnesota for many, many years. They signed him to a 2-year, $12 million contract. And you look and say, oh man, that's a good tight end. That's a good player for Daniel Jones. Experience, been a starter for many, many years. They go out and get Kenny Golladay. Oh man, they got a real receiver for them, right? $72 million contract. And you look at that and say, damn, the Giants are getting loaded on offense. They got Barkley coming back. Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has always been the best athlete on the team. Now he's got some playmakers to go around him. I believe Kyle Rudolph was let go. And I believe Golladay, you couldn't let him go because they owed him so much money. They didn't have great seasons. Golladay had 520 yards, and I think Kyle Rudolph had about 257. Now, not all of that's on the receivers. Some of that's on Daniel Jones because he's ass. But just saying that getting guys who have been starters and big-time players don't always mean that they're going to be big-time players for you. I believe the philosophy of the Cowboys because they look back at, like, Jalen Smith's contract. They look back and say DeMarcus Lawrence's contract. They look back and they say Zeke Elliott's contract. It's not that the player gets a big contract and they say, I can kick back and relax. But for some reason, it seems like when a lot of players get their big contracts, they don't necessarily perform as well. I'm not accusing guys, I'm not saying that, but it's just coincidence that when you had Jason Hatcher, who was a 3-4 sack a year guy, all of a sudden have an 11 sack year in a contract year, gets a contract in Washington and goes back to the 3 or 4, you say, I wish I could get that 11 sack guy every year. So I think the Cowboys are looking at this from the standpoint of what worked for them last year. They brought in a lot of guys and put them on one-year deals. Carlos Watkins, Malik Hooker, Jaron Curse. If they didn't work out, okay, no big deal. We only paid them for a year. If they do work out, well, good. We got them cheap for the first year. We can bring them back the next year, and we got ourselves some players, right? And if they play so good, we let them go as a free agent, and we get a compensatory pick. We did that with Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn, we traded a 6th-round pick to get him. He comes in, plays lights out. We get a 4th-round pick for him. So we actually did better in free agency than some teams did with our bottom tier guys without spending anywhere near the money. The Giants, between Kyle Rudolph and Galladay, spent $84 million and got a total of 821 yards. We got a safety that makes us think, man, our safety room is great in Jaron Curse. Man, Malik Hooker, now that he's got a year after that having that injury, we got ourselves a player. Carlos Watkins, hey, penciled in to be a starter. We got a lot of guys cheap that are no-name guys that are holding on to the team. And the thing I feel good about for the season, you have sizzle and you have substance. Wide receivers are like sizzle. You love having wide receivers, playmakers. CeeDee Lamb is definitely sizzle. He's exciting. He's electrifying. But then there's the substance. And see, the substance isn't exciting. Guys that play on the offensive line are not exciting. Guys that play on the defensive line, they're not exciting. But without that substance, you are not a good team. And see, this draft was not a sizzle draft. You didn't have your Kyle Pittses out there or the Justin Jeffersons, although there may be guys that play like that. This draft was a draft where you build a roster from. You get the guys that are the dreadnoughts of the offensive line. You get the guys that are doing the dirty work on the defensive line. You get the guys that can block, guys that can tackle, those guys that can play special teams. These guys that are unsung heroes that build out your roster, that make those guys with the sizzle able to get the sizzle. And I think that that's what you're going to see from this roster right here, this draft that we have, that we got a lot of lunch pail, blue collar, down and dirty players that will be the foundation of the team going forward. And see, we don't often get those. More times than not, we get the sizzle, but we're kind of lacking in the substance. This year, I think we actually got the substance. We'll see. It won't be long. We'll be seeing what we got on the field. But right now, each week goes by, I'm feeling better and better about the Tampa Bay game. I'm not going to guarantee that we win that game, but I honestly think we got a chance. And in football, all you want is a chance. So with that being said, shout out to Blue Virus. He won the Bob Lilly print, and we'll get that out to you. He kind of stuffed the box with like 25 super chats tonight. He made sure that he got that sucker, but I ain't mad at him. But as always, make sure you tell the people you love them. Because this day and age, brother, you might not get the chance again. I love you guys. Be safe out there, and God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.